Good afternoon, good afternoon. It is another beautiful Friday, and we all know that Fridays belong to football. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of the Center Circle with me, your beautiful host. My name is Goketa Mazunda. So today, my guest has been in the game for a while. He has played for Chipa United, he has played for Orlando Pirates, he has even made an appearance in the national team. Both national teams actually, the under-23 and the senior team. So today I am with Brighton Mhlongo from Bidvest Wits. So today we are just going to get to know Brighton more and more better. So if you have any questions regarding anything of his career, do send me a comment below, and then we will sure do answer each and every question that you have. So we are still on the lockdown. This year we're celebrating 10 years since we've hosted the FIFA World Cup. Do join in the conversation and tell us what you remember mostly about the World Cup and what you have been doing during this lockdown. Man, I am so excited. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this conversation that I'm about to have with Brighton. Because, man, it's said that Wits will be leaving us soon as we wrap up the season. So we are going to get to know what will Brighton be doing right after this season, or even during this season. So I'm going to quickly add him, and then we will interact in a few, okay? So, joining the conversation. So I'm going to wait for Brighton to accept, and then we are good to go. Hi, Klassen. Hi, Buntle. Hi, Nelson. Hi, Miley. Hi, Brighton. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks to yourself.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking this interview with me.
No, it's always a pleasure. Can you hear me properly? Because it seems like I'm just struggling with my connection here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, cool. No, thanks for having me. And yeah, it's always a pleasure,
Thank you, man. So I want to believe that everyone does really know who you are by now. But for those who do not know, who is Brighton Mhlongo?
It depends who wants to know, but yeah, man, I'm kidding. Brighton Mhlongo is just a chilled, loving guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's just, very humble and free-spirited. I love meeting new people. I love being out there, and just being myself. First and foremost, it's always important to be yourself than trying to emulate other people,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm one of those guys, and I'm one of those guys who always put everyone ahead of me. So I like doing that. It's just within my character. That's how I was brought up, So yeah, that's Brighton actually in a short brief. Yeah.
So what have you been doing during this lockdown?
Man. I guess, it was just boredom, and all I had to do was just try and keep myself, very motivated, mentally strong, and trying to be physically fit as well, So most of the things that I've been doing is just trying to improvise and train, come up with ideas as to how I'm going to keep myself fit and busy, and try and make sure that at the same time my mental strength is up to level, So most of the things that I've been doing, I've just trying by all means that I train hard as much as I can, even though it was, being confined to your own home, whereas you're used to being out there training on the field. It's always difficult, So all I had to do was just try and make sure that I improvise every time, and just try to find ways in order for me to train and, keep fit. So that's what I've been doing, and doing a whole lot of introspection, meditation, and reading a lot of books. That's what I've been doing, actually,
That's nice. So when did you start playing professionally?
Yeah, professionally, I started, actually my first professional contract was with FCAK, the NFD. So But for me, I think professionally started when after my matric year, when I got loaned out to Garangwa United. That
Mm-hmm.
was when they just came back from um from the NFD. They got relegated from the Mvela League back then, and then when they got to the Vodacom, they wrote me in. Had a good campaign. I mean, I played for one season there, and then I remember we went all the way up to the playoffs, which were hosted in Mpumalanga. Then we did well. We only lost our semi-final game against FCAK. That's when they invited me for
Mm-hmm.
trials as well. I got loaned out to because I was still Pirates property from development throughout, and then I got loaned
Yeah.
out to FCAK, whereby I stayed there for a season. I had a good season. That's where other teams, I mean, where they wanted to sign me, but and then I had to make a choice, and I had to go back to Pirates because I had to be grateful for everything they've done for me. It was my turn to repay the faith that they've shown in me throughout the development years. So yeah, I was that's when actually I turned professional. FCK, I must say, yeah.
So you played for Pirates, and I want to believe that season was one of your greatest seasons you've had when you were at Pirates. So how was that experience being at Pirates?
Look, for me, I think the best season for me was my first season when we got to win the treble. So I think for me that was the best season, irrespective of not having featured, But I think I did make a few bench appearances there. So yeah, it was a great experience, and obviously fast forward to the season where we went to the Champions League final,
Yeah,
and also had to. I think okay, yeah. Well, the best moments, yeah, was when we won the treble and when we went to the Champions League final, and when I finally started playing, irrespective of the circumstances of how I got to get the jersey. But it was, a very good stay for me, especially when, I mean, I remember when we went to the Champions League final, it was, I was, dreaming about this whole thing of being part of a top team that will compete throughout in Africa. And at some point after I got there, I felt like I wish I could be playing. And
yeah,
then I got my turn when we played the Confederations Cup, of which I believe that I did fairly well. I mean, at some point, I even got nominated to be one of the top five goalkeepers for the Confederations Cup.
mm.
Yeah, I think that was the great moment for me when I was playing there because that's when I even got to be called up in the national team and all sorts.
So someone is asking here, he says, how was the pressure of taking over from Senzo, who was at the time the number one keeper to Bafana Bafana?
Yeah, look, football is a pressure game,
Mhm.
and I'd be lying if I say you go in there, there's no pressure. There's always pressure in everything that you do, irrespective of who you are. I
Yeah,
mean, you look at from the big players all over the world, your Lionel Messi's, I mean, they just lost the title yesterday. The pressure was all on him. So with me, I mean, given the circumstances, the fact that I came in just a week after we just laid Senzo to rest.
yeah,
There was no time for any sentiments to nurse any sentiments or any emotions. I just had to go in there and take on the baiting and carry on. When one
yeah,
soldier is falling, that's what you have to do. So for me, I just knew that now this is it. I just have to step up and just try by all means without putting any pressure on myself, but just to try by all means to go out there and do my utmost best and let God do the rest of the producing. So
yeah,
it was very difficult. It was difficult, but I mean, with the help of my teammates, your Roy's, Mahamutas, and
yeah,
to mention a few, yeah, I had a good support structure. To be honest, I had a good
mhm,
support structure, and most of the guys were very supportive. They were there for me, and it did help to it helped because I had a good goalkeeper coach who was a very good mentor to me, the
yeah,
late Alexander Ivorero. But I mean, without taking any credit from anyone, I mean, everyone has been there for me, even the supporters. At some point, some of them were there for me to push me. So
yeah.
much as it was difficult, but I did manage.
So, talking about mental strength and keeping yourself busy during the lockdown, how important is it for a player to always keep fit and keep himself mentally strengthened? How important is that?
Look, I think yes, much as we rely on our physical condition, but the mental aspect of things, um, as an athlete, it's very important to have that strong character. It's very important to have the strong mental state, you know, the willpower to keep on trying, to keep on going, irrespective of how things go. You know, so I think the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the lockdown and everything has you know, it was proof to us that we need to stay strong no matter what happens, you know, irrespective
True.
of the circumstances, we need to stay strong. So given the fact that, I mean, we used to being out there, living your life freely, and now you're confined in your own space, you can't
Yeah.
do anything, you can't be the normal you. It requires a whole lot mentally, you know, to psych yourself up, you know. So even on the field of play as an athlete, that's what you need, you know, to have that strong character every time.
So, talking about Pirates, while we're still on that conversation, the Soweto Derby, is there any pressure that comes with playing in the Derby and winning it as compared to playing other games?
Look, each and every game has its own pressures. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you play the so-called small teams. You don't want to lose against those. It's still pressure on its own. You play a big game like a derby. You still don't want to lose. You have to make sure that you claim the stakes and the bragging rights. You know. So, but coming back to you know, your question in terms of playing the derby. I mean, I remember my first derby, we lost at 2-0. You know, and that was few weeks down the line after the passing of Senzo and everything. So for me, yo, it was something else. You know, but
Yeah.
as soon as, I mean, 15 minutes, 20 minutes down the line, you feel like, you know, yeah, it's just the crowds and everything, but you can still do it. I mean, so I got to encourage myself to say, you know what, just treat it like just any other game,
Mm.
irrespective of obviously the crowds and the stakes that are high. Just go out there and just enjoy yourself. But I think the most important thing that helped me a lot is that I always meditate about stuff, you know, especially when I feel a bit anxious about things.
Mm.
I just take a breather and, you know, just take that moment just to reflect and just psych myself up. So yeah, it's always a difficult game playing a derby. But yeah, what can you say? I mean, we've been there and we did well. I mean, surprisingly enough, when I checked my stats playing a derby, I only lost 2 games, you know, and
Yeah.
then the rest was all wins and draws, you know. So it means that I did fairly well, and yeah.
Having to have played at Pirates for a very long time, someone is asking, how did the decision to leave Pirates come about?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to touch the subject, but now that it has been asked, obviously certain things that don't always go our way, you know.
Yeah.
And the time I decided to leave, well, I wouldn't put it entirely on me because it was a joint, you know, decision with the management and the team because I needed the change of scenery, and at that time I was in a dark place in my life, you know. So I
Mm.
felt like I needed a change of scenery. I needed to rediscover myself, you know, to find the passion again. And the most important thing, I've always believed that this life is bigger than us, you know.
Yeah.
So the most important thing for me was just to take that time out and reflect a bit and just rediscover myself. And because slowly but surely I was losing myself, and most of the things were falling apart, especially off the field, you know.
Yeah.
So I just knew that at that moment I needed some time just to look at myself and see where I want to be and where am I taking my career to. And besides my career, actually my life, you know, because I
Mm.
had to be honest with myself, you know, and I felt like being in Joburg, especially, or being at Pirates, was not helping me at all because I've been there for quite a long time, you know,
Yeah.
and at the time I was starting to lose that passion, the inspiration, and the drive to go forward, to move to the next levels, and
Yeah.
obviously at that time as a team we were going through a rough patch, so it didn't help at all mentally.
Yeah.
So so to answer the question, basically, it was a joint decision between me and the management because I needed, just a change of scenery, and I needed to spread my wings and explore a bit out there and rediscover myself and see how things go out there because I've been at Pirates since my junior years. So I needed to see what life has in store for me out there, of
Yeah.
which it helped, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and I'll still be indebted to Pirates till today.
Wow. So I am Dot Raka, who says, I am a goalkeeper. How can I recover after a mistake I cost my team?
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about, the mental state. You
Yeah.
know, you need to have a strong character as a goalkeeper because look at it this way, when a striker makes a mistake, there's always a midfielder to cover them. When a midfielder makes a mistake, there's always the defense to cover them.
Yeah.
And when the defense makes a mistake, you as the goalkeeper have to be there for the whole team, in fact. But when you make a mistake, it ends up in the back of the net, and you feel like you are in your own world.
Yeah.
So when it's bad, all you gotta do is just carry the burden, all the weight on your shoulders, and just soldier on. You lift yourself up, and you start over again. That's all you
Yeah.
have to do in life. You just have to pick up all the pieces that are left remaining, and then just march on every time. So it's all about the character, and tell yourself that, look, it happens.
Yeah.
No one died. I mean, you feel like sometimes, there are people who just pass on. They don't get a chance to rectify their mistakes. You're
Yeah.
still alive, and you still have another opportunity to wake up tomorrow and not concede a goal and not make a mistake. So all you gotta do is just brush it aside, start over again, and just focus on doing your utmost best to get it right. I mean, the only way to get it right is to get it wrong first so that you can know that you're wrong and then you fix things. So that's all you can always do in life.
So we are celebrating 10 years anniversary since we've hosted the FIFA World Cup. Where were you during that time in 2010?
2010, I believe I was still playing for Garangua United, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I think it was FCK, yeah. I was still at FCK or Garangua United. Between the two, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, at the time, well, I was still young, and I honestly didn't think that things would happen so fast for me. I honestly
Mm-hmm.
didn't see myself at that time being,
Mm.
to play at Soccer City and all of that. I
Yeah.
think still far-fetched. It was more of me still saying, look, just keep doing what you're doing, just keep working hard. You'll get there eventually. But
Yeah.
it wasn't more any target or hoping that, I could be there sooner than expected. So,
Mm.
yeah.
So what would you say is the most memorable thing you remember about 2010?
About the World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, honestly speaking, I'd say it's the Simpiwe Shabalala's goal.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the most memorable moments. I mean, first World Cup in African soil and the first goal scored by an African team. And
Mm.
nice thing about it was scored by a South African player. So, and our own local brand as well. So, I mean, that makes you a proud South African and a proud African as a whole.
So you've played amongst legends in the game. I mean, you've played amongst with Mpumakola.
Roy Mahamudza.
Yeah. So which would you say has always been that guy that you look up to and then you got the opportunity to play with?
Ah, well, for me, honestly speaking, I was, how do I put this? Well, I think, to be honest, for me, I've always looked up to almost everyone who does, you know, different things. Obviously, on the inspirational side of things, I've always looked up to Benson,
Mm-hmm.
my, and then And then most of the players, I got to know them when I got to Pirates, to the senior team, you know. And then, I mean, so to mention Roy, I mean, most people you think Roy is one of those, you know, arrogant
Mm.
players, scary type with those big eyes and all that. But once you get close to that guy, my word,
Yeah.
he's such an amazing soul, you know, such an
Mm.
amazing soul. Until today, I mean, I still respect that player, hard worker whenever he wants to, by the way. He's hard worker when he wants to. When he
Mm.
doesn't want to, then forget it. He's not going to do it. He's very stubborn, hard-headed. But
Yeah.
he's a very, you know, ambitious person. He's very passionate about everything that he does, you know. And
Mm.
he has always taken good care of me, you know, took me
Yeah.
on his wing and showed me the ropes around. So, but for me, coming back to a question, let's see. I think the class that I played with, which was exceptional. Well, I mean, obviously, I played with you know, with your Benny McCarthy's and whatnot, the team that won the treble. But for
Mm.
me, I think the team that went all the way to the finals, both finals for the Confed and
Mm.
the Champions League, amazing group, very fantastic. We were very united. You know, the team
Yeah.
spirit. That's how I learned how to be your brother's keeper,
Yeah.
irrespective of where you are, who you are, you know, because there'll be instances. I remember with Mpoma Kola, we played a game in Gabon, and that game was very tough. We were trailing 2-0, you know, CAF game, it was not live. We were still playing our preliminary rounds. We played a game in Gabon, and like those guys were coming at us. And
Mm.
then save, it was a corner kick. He came shouting as if he was crying from all the way the halfway line. He said, "Guys, do you want to embarrass us from far away from home?" All those kind of things, you know. And from then, that's when I realized, you know, that I'm with a group of players who wanna leave their blood and sweat on that field of play, and who
Yeah.
are willing to die for each other, you know.
Mm.
And we were like that even off the field, you know. Off the field, that's how we so close, you know. Would have our team buildings, would go to your Gold Reef cities, would do so many things together, you know. So
Yeah.
I believe that, I mean, till today we're still close, you know, amongst the group. So I think that that's been the best group for me.
That's nice. So you've participated with you made appearances rather with the under 23 national team, even the senior national team, and then you went
Yeah.
to CAF and all that. So which tournament would you say was the most memorable one for you, or would you make it higher for you?
Look, nothing replaces. I mean, for me, I think with the under 23s, we went to Morocco to play the AFCON, so we
Yeah.
can qualify for the Olympics. It was a good experience, yes. And then from there, uh, with the Bafana team, obviously we played the World Cup qualifiers, and then I managed to get my first cap when we played against Ghana, you know, which was an international friendly just after the, um, the World Cup qualifier, you know. But for
Mm.
me, the utmost memorable moments were when we were playing CAF, you know, when we were playing the Champions League and the Confed. But I think the Confed was more amazing for me because there are so many. Actually, both tournaments, they were so amazing because that's when we got to spend more time together away from home with the guys, and there are so many funny stories there, you know. So it's been, I'd definitely say Kev for me because there's so many stories that I'll share, but I don't wanna expose people, you know. So it's fine.
I think Rose
It's fine.
wants you to expose yourself with the Morocco trip.
Egypt
He said
on.
you should tell me about
I
Morocco.
don't wanna say anything about Egypt. No, I don't wanna say anything about Egypt, you know. I don't wanna say anything about Egypt.
So let's talk about your stay at Wits. You guys,
Okay.
this season, let's talk about this
Mm-hmm.
season in particular. You guys are number six, right, with 21 games played,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and you guys are now in the semifinals of Nedbank. What is it that you get? Like, is there a point where you guys just want to prove a point, given that now Wits will not longer be there the next season? Is there a point that you guys want to prove that you guys still got it? You want to leave with the bang?
Um, Look, without putting any pressure on ourselves, obviously we want to do well, given the fact that Vert was supposed to turn 100 years next season, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, you know, it's not going to happen. But you definitely want to be part of that legacy. I mean, that 99 years, it's also, you just want to make sure that you bow down, on a
yeah,
high, So that's what we've been looking forward to do as a group. I mean, we're calling it the last dance. So we want to
mm,
make that last dance a memorable one, but
yeah,
obviously so the things that don't go according to your will, it's always by God's will and grace, So hopefully we'll do well, and we'll just leave a lasting legacy and good memory for the Vets fans and the hierarchy. I mean, and the players of the yesteryears who left the mark for the team. It's just
yeah,
for us to make sure that we just bow down, on a high as a team. But having said that, like I said, we don't want to put pressure on ourselves. We will just take it one step at a time, and
mm,
just make sure that we complete every task at hand that is laid upon us, and we'll take it from there. But as a team, I think we know what's at stake. We know what's required of us, and we'll just take it as it comes and just be united and make sure that before we part to our different future endeavors, we just have to make sure that we push as a unit, one last push, and just give it a go. And like I said, just make sure that our last dance is a memorable one.
talking about last dances, I think for me when I heard the news, when the news broke, I was shocked. I was all I could think about was you guys, the guys in the academy, the ones in the MDC. How was it for you when you received these news?
Yeah, it was a shocker. I mean, given the fact that honestly speaking, when I got to vets, I, I thought personally I was gonna struggle,
Yeah,
because of the environment and so forth. I thought that, hey, look, it's gonna take me some time to get used to being there, because when I left Pirates, I went to PE, and PE I didn't stay that long. So when I came back, it was Vets. So mind you, I haven't been to another team apart from Pirates for such a longer period for me to be comfortable and say, yes, this is a place where I feel so welcome and everything.
yeah,
Whereas with Vets, came to my surprise when I got there, they were very welcoming, and I felt that sense of belonging. From the very first day when I walked into the gates at Starrock Park, I felt at home, and I
mm,
felt that sense of belonging. So it was very sad because we the team is just more intimate, and it was more of a family because we spent more time together as a group, and we did almost everything together as a group, and the support structure has been amazing as well there. So I
mm,
mean, irrespective of who plays or who doesn't, the unity there is just amazing. So when you think about all those things that you're about to part with, it was sad. It was a
yeah,
heartbreaking moment. I mean, the fact that we all had and even the coach and everyone, the management, they had a long-term project for us, for everyone, and
mm,
it was
mm,
starting to show, even on the field of play, it was starting to show, and
yeah,
sadly, all the good things, I guess, they do come to an end, so that's what we had to take it up on our chins and just understand that life goes on, such things, they do happen.
mm,
When such chapters close, you open another one. But the most important thing is for you to make sure how you complete the book, it's up to you,
yeah,
So, yeah. So, all I can say is that, well, with all these uncertainties and everything, looking forward to the new chapter, but only God knows how it's going to be. So, all you got to do is just follow, and you'll be
yeah,
ushered into the greener pastures, and hope that everything that awaits you ahead, as what you've been
mm,
praying for and what you've been working hard and hoping for.
yeah. So, I when we posted this, this poster that you will be on my show with me, someone said that
Yeah.
I should ask you how it is playing amongst Tyson Klatwayo, given that he's a captain of the national team and also your captain. How is it playing with him?
No, man, it's amazing. It's a great experience. I mean, for me, I was very fortunate because most of the guys I played with them from junior levels. I mean, foot with Tyson, it was because we played together in Soweto, and then we went on to play together in the national team. In fact, the team that I'm telling you about, the under 23 teams, when we went to play the Africa Games in Mozambique and the AFCON in Morocco, he was there, you know. So
Yeah.
we and when I went to the Bafana team, I mean my first camp, I remember he's one of the guys who were welcoming me well, you know. So
Yeah.
most of the guys I played with them in the national team, so it wasn't that difficult for me, you know, to do to so playing with Tyson, I mean, he's one of those guys when he's a tough nut to crack from the outside, you know, but he's a very gentle soul, to be honest with you, and he always puts his team ahead of everything, you know. He's one of those guys. He's a very selfless guy who's always putting his team ahead of anything else, you know. So he's a very gentle soul, trust me. Very hardworking and a very gentle soul. Yeah.
So, what are your plans going forward? What is the one thing that we must look forward to seeing you on the screens?
What are my plans? Are we talking in terms of the the upcoming season or just
Yeah,
future
the
endeavors
upcoming
and so?
season. Yeah,
Yeah, look,
everything.
right now, I think the main priority, the main focus is to make sure that we complete this season, you know, make sure that we give it a good push and see where it takes us. I mean, we still have, like you've mentioned, we still have Nedbank Cup to complete,
Yeah,
and hope everything goes well. And again, look, sorry, excuse me. After completing this season, obviously one has to take a step back and just see how things goes because we still have to engage with the management. We still have to engage with the new owners to see how things go, and we will take it from there. You know, but for me, like I said, all I have to do is just knuckle down and just keep working hard and hope that God will lead me to a place where you know I'll just keep on prospering and just keep working hard as a player and grow as a
yeah,
human being. Because the most important thing, you don't want to be at a place whereby you grow your career, but you don't grow your spiritual being, you know. And the most important thing for me, I think, it's my livelihood as a footballer and as a human being, you know. So I want to be
yeah,
at an environment whereby I know that I'm going to continue growing wiser as a player and as a person on and off the field, you know. So hopefully I'll get to a point whereby I get to a place where things work out for me and the team as well in my career now. So yeah,
yeah,
that's the most important thing. Yeah, but it's nothing to worry about. I mean, all you gotta do, like I said, there's a whole lot of things that are yet to happen. I mean, we still have what, a month or 6 weeks to go out there and just have that last dance and just showcase our God-given talent. And hopefully, hey, who knows?
yeah,
Maybe other teams will be looking, or you just continue with your team. You'll never know, you know. But I think the most important thing right now is just to knuckle down and just focus on the job at hand, which is completing the season on a high with Bidvest Vets, and just make sure that we leave a lasting legacy, and then everything goes well.
yeah. All right, man. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is our time. I thank you so much for accepting my invitation to the show, and I wish you all the best of luck. Given that you guys will be in Polokwane, I'm hoping to see you working.
Yeah,
So,
no, definitely. No, thanks for having me, and obviously, hopefully things will go well, and we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing, and yeah,
yeah.
from in Polokwane, will still be the same Brighton who keeps working hard. It never ends, it never stops. So yeah, we shall see what the future holds for us, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much. Now.
Thank you. Bye. that is our time with Brighton Mhlongo, guys. It was an interesting conversation that we are having. I told you guys it's going to be an exciting one. So do join me next week. I am with the supporters. So we'll be discussing everything that is with regards to the resumption of the league. So join me next week with the supporters. Same time, same place. From me to you. Goodbye.